Welcome back to another video, and as you saw in the past video, we finally finished the whole siding and we are one step away, well actually one video away of painting it. As you see, the weather is beautiful and hopefully it's gonna hold. It is still not too cold for paint, but there's few things that we gotta address before, such as the corners. A lot of you have been already wondering and saying that we have to close them. Of course we would close them, was planned since the beginning, but yeah, we're not 100% sure how we want to close them. But before we get to this difficult, tricky, brain melting part of how to seal them properly, let's get on and do something we did yesterday, which is plaster the nuts. We have some nuts that are bitty soft and a bitty rotten, and we do want to plaster them to prevent birds from pecking on them and rotting. So let's see those clips from yesterday and then get on with the difficult part, which is the corners.
So what we're going to be covering up is this ones here. So these are the knots that have gone a bit soft. There's knots that are fully hard like this ones, but there's some that have started rotting. So we have the paste that is actually specifically for pine knots, so the color is exactly the same, and it is exterior use as well, meant for pretty much anything to do with wood, so it hardens up and becomes as strong as the wood knot needs to be. So let's get started and try to do this. Hopefully I have bought enough. 1.6 kilos should be enough, I hope. There's not so many. This side I think barely has anything really. The other side we had to use a bit worse wood, the leftovers, but yeah, let's open it up and get started.
Does it have a smell? Oh, smells like plaster.
Smells exactly like plaster, yeah.
Ooh.
How messy is it making it? Very much.
Very much messy, but does it matter?
It is honestly the same tone as...
Oh yeah, it kind of blends in really well.
You just gotta roll the pattern of the wood more.
Ah, it's okay. Anyways, the pattern, like the wood itself is quite rough, so...
Okay, maybe we don't do every small hole, we just do the holes that are actually open.
Like this, and enough, almost. Don't spread it further. I think that's good enough. Because the more you like scrape around, the bigger surface you make, so I'd rather have it like... Yeah. This tiny one? I think so,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
Okay, just like that.
Doesn't really much paint.
Okay.
The color, but I think it's better than an open hole. Okay, here's a big boy.
It's actually not as much as we thought, because we did try to avoid as much as possible and making sure we are flipping them in a way where they're the least exposed.
Or cut them off fully.
Or just cut them off, and yeah, for example, like under the windows we made sure like we're cutting them. So actually that's not that bad. I literally thought it's gonna take us hours to do that.
We have not gone up the ladder yet, so not done yet.
I guess.
This one is matching more the wood. Some of it is not quite the color.
But considering that I literally thought that taping is gonna take us like an hour and has taken us days and weeks and rolls, I was scared that this is gonna take really long. But it's going pretty quick, and I think it's easy to apply, right?
Yeah. I just hope that the end result will not look too bad. It will just prevent it from rotting fast and like forward.
Well, my biggest fear is not the rot, is the birds.
Yeah, birds are more.
Birds are more destructive at this point.
Than weather.
Yeah. Well, that is a big hole.
Yeah.
That, the woodpecker, oh, he would have a party moment.
Yeah, also it's a bit big for this plaster, but let's hope it will dry nicely.
Inspector Poo is coming for a last inspection. Now that it's fully built, he's like, gotta inspect this.
If it's by the plan, yeah.
Because he has seen the plants, but has never seen it in real life. Huh, that's actually true. People have seen all the plants, but never seen it in real.
Yeah, now they understand.
I don't think they do. All they care is going to neighbors to get some apples. That is a humongous tiny house. From here, it actually looks like a house.
So we have the last step, which is the big ladder. We have to put the big ladder and circle the whole building around with the big ladder. That's the most annoying because you just gotta keep moving the ladder. And it's not very light after a while.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Excuse me?
It's raining into my house.
Why are you raining? What is that? Is that a prank? It literally said no rain. What?
Quite a lot of water.
That
They're
is...
pretty dark clouds, I think. So we have finished with this paste and it is all applied on the knots that were bad. It wasn't as much as I thought. We actually only used a very small fraction of the whole bucket. And yeah, it did a pretty good job. Of course, ideally, you will need to sandpaper it. After you have done it and it's dry, you sandpaper it smooth and then it's only in the deeper grooves and it kind of keeps the wood texture. But for us, since, well, we only have a few days till it's too cold to work outside and to be able to paint it, we kind of have to hurry up and paint it. And if it's really bad, we'll come back and sandpaper it another time whenever we're doing another layer in the future upcoming years. Because of course, this paint that we're going to apply needs to be repainted every few years. It doesn't last forever. Nothing really does. So yeah, and next time we'll know to be able to have such a product. Of course, we didn't know of this thing. We bought it only recently. We are going to be doing it as we go with the sidings. You know, if we have a hole, just straight away put, like as soon as we're putting the board on, straight away smoosh it, because then the ladder is already in the place where we're doing it and we can just close up any hole we have and then keep going with the next boards. But yeah, so let's get on with the next step, probably to cut off the corners. So we're going to cut those straight to be able to add our like corner trims. So half an hour of cutting later, we have been running into same problem over and over. This saw is the first tool we bought when we got here. We paid, I think, 20 euros for it, and it's been lasting. The cable is about to snap off, and it has been working for basic, really dull jobs. It's still cutting really good. It's still the original blade. For a cheap Chinese tool, it's actually outperforming way more than I was ever expecting it to. But it is having a problem. I'm following the guide that it has here and my lines, and the blade is going sideways. I don't know if it's the blade or something, the bearing is broken, but every single cut is going that direction, and I'm making really awful line that is pretty much impossible to seal in the way I wanted to, which is to add wood here to close this up, and then we add a nice front corner in front. So we need to close up these holes, of course, so we can't just add a front, because then mouses can just crawl in, and everything else as well, birds, flies, everything can get in. So we needed to close this first, so these holes are all sealed, and then put a nice corner in front. That was the original plan. But if I'm going this badly, even if I put something in front, it leaves pretty much 1 centimeter gap, which is enough for a mouse to squeeze through. And of course, bees, flies, and hornets, anything can fly through that. So we actually did come up with different solution after like half an hour extra of thinking around. How are we going to do this? How are we going to seal it? Because of course it is going kind of zigzag, so it's pretty much impossible to put something flat against it. So yeah, let's let Despina explain you how are we actually going to do it.
After video calling my mom, just to get an extra kind of opinion to it, see what she thinks, she was quite lost to this whole concept, but she kind of agreed to it. She said, okay, it is a bit of a different design, and the design that we're gonna go with, we ended up also saying that it is probably the best weatherproof, because yeah, if we would have done the previous plan, just putting pretty much like a wood here and then covering with these ones, snow can go in. We live in the north, we get a lot of snow, so snow can fly in and sit in there, melt, and over time rot the wood. So we came up on just closing the holes this way. Kind of the lazy way, the most proper way would be to perfectly cut every single piece and make it flush and go in. And yeah, this is kind of the difficult part, these corners with this type of siding we did. In any other siding that is flat and flush, you just put a wood and it's sealed. Doing this beautiful design bites us in the butt a bit on needing to close those holes. And yeah, I think this is kind of the best way. Not the easiest, because we need to cut 250 something pieces of wood to put them on and then individually screw every single one. But then I was telling David, like at the end of the day, it took him forever. He was extremely frustrated on cutting it straight. So I think at the end of the day, this is the best way of doing it. Let us know what you think. I don't think there's really another option, like foaming it or doing any of that is just gonna cause more damage, because you know, if birds like pecking on our wind membrane, I think they would love pecking on that foam, and you would have a beautiful snow here in summer, and they will make nests. Actually, that's what I was thinking as well. If we don't seal it like this from the front, bees and flies and even birds or mice can actually go in there and make a nest, even though we have it closed here. So at the end of the day, I think this is the best we can do. Ideally, it would have been the best to cut them flush already, so the wood goes perfectly on and is all beautiful. But yeah, we'll learn from our mistakes. Next time we will know to straight away put the wood, so like we did on the windowsills over here, you can see they go like flush on it. We should have done the same thing also on the ends. We kind of thought like, oh yeah, it's gonna be easy, just go with a saw and cut it all straight. But yeah, it is not as easy as we thought. So this is gonna be the design. So yeah, let's cut all the woods and have it ready. Even though this is gonna get stained a different color, we still wanna have it ready. So once the house is painted, we can just get that on, I think, right? I think we're doing all of this first. So yeah, let's get all of this done. And then I think the last thing is taping the windows, and then we are ready for paint. unexpected.
Yeah.
One side is done, 3 more to go. As you saw, we finished one of the corners, and the funny thing is that on top here, at the very end, we decided to do the siding the proper way so we can attach the wood that we originally had in plan. Even though we had that plan for quite a while, I don't know why we did not cut the woods flush with the wood and just left them all overlaps. And the only place we started and decided that it might be a smart idea is right there, the last, I think, 15 boards. So yeah, let's now continue on and do the other 3 sides. Yeah, that has been taking way too long just because, I don't know, we had to figure out new ways and went through so many options. But yeah, we figured it out, so let's now continue with the other 3 sides. We could have just done that from the very beginning when we realized that we want to do it that way. And it would have saved so much trouble. Wow! What is happening?
What?
What just happened? Yeah, that's what I thought we were gonna do with all of them. I guess that's not a bad look, isn't it?
It's okay.
It has a look.
So we have finished all 4 sides, and as you can see, I'm dismantling one of them, the first one we did. And that is the reason because I am not really confident on the idea of putting everywhere small little plank to close up the holes. I feel like this is how you leave it. I've seen every siding done like this, and this is the final result. You just add a corner like this and done. So what I'm thinking is maybe to add a metal mesh here. Maybe that would work, or from the inside like this, like a corner. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of think how could I do it without needing to add, because currently it also adds a lot of ventilation for the siding, and if water does get in, it does ventilate out. If I put a wood here, then it doesn't ventilate out, then it kind of has a blockage, and air cannot just go all around the corner. So I'm thinking if we add some sort of metal to prevent rodents to go in, same as we did on the bottom. So now we just gotta go to a hardware store and pretty much see if there is something like that. Otherwise, we might need to go back to our original idea or find some other solution. There should be something that should be able to cover this either from inside or all around, something we should be able to find. First thing we can try is the corners we have. They had bigger version than that, so we can see if the corner we have almost fit. If it does, then we can get the bigger version or some different style as well. There's many different of that, even flat ones, so we could get individual ones for each side as well, so it fits nicer. But yeah, let's just try out the corners we have.
Actually, that is perfect.
Pretty much does it, yeah.
We could check online if they did have a wider version, because that also bends really easily to the shape.
It doesn't kind of fit here, it's like a bit of a deformation. You just bend it in to the shape really easily. Maybe we could even staple it with a staple gun.
Yeah.
So we don't need to use screws, saves us money, and also staples will go more often. We can put staples. Because yeah, like in some places where it's really big difference, like here, I will need to add a separate piece. Because here's really big difference.
Perfect news. As you saw, the metal is fitting perfectly, more or less, in most of the places. We will check online before we head to the store, since it is quite a bit of a drive, just to see if they have some other options on spot, like wider corners. And yeah, as we had mentioned also a long time ago when we started the siding, they're really cheap. I think they were like 80 cents for like 2 meters. So it's actually a really cheap option. And David said it might be a bit of a messing around to attach them, but I definitely don't think it's going to be as big of a messing around as doing all the wood on the side, all the little pieces. And then also I realized once we take it off, since we want to stain it dark brown like the window trims, and then when I put it back on, it is going to be quite of a hard puzzle of 64 pieces to align it all again perfectly. So yeah, we could have come up, like I was thinking about the metal idea, but I was thinking it's not gonna be perfect and it's not gonna fit, so it kind of did not cross our mind earlier. But it's not too late. We did not start cutting all the small pieces yet, so we're gonna be ending this video here since it is getting a bit dark. The sun has set, and we're not gonna be addressing the corners until the building is painted, so we will be removing them. I know, bit of a double work, but we had to make sure that they fit nicely before. And as I said, that we're staining them darker than the building. That might be a bit of a hint on the color of the building. So yeah, we're gonna be addressing it, one of the last things before fully sealing it for winter. And yeah, so next up, it is painting. I'm excited. Now that the siding is done, like every step is like, okay, it's done. Let's move to the next one. And next up is painting. So drop all your ideas, what you think is gonna be the paint color. I will love reading all your comments, and hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know what you think, if our idea of covering the corners that way is the best and safest for the building, for all the rodents. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and we're gonna see you in the next one. I think you can tell that I am excited to paint it. Oh, let's hope it doesn't rain. Beautiful.